I'm telling you, I've been waiting for my boyfriend, Tom, to leave this room. He was sat right on this sofa with me for literally half an hour. I was like, can you go please? And I was like, maybe I should start this podcast with him here. But then I was like, no, I'll definitely freak him out, because today we're talking about having a baby, el bebe, as I spoke about last time, and nobody understood what el bebe was. It's a fucking baby in Spanish, all right? So that's what we're talking about today. I'm approaching 30, as my best friend would say. Thanks a fucking lot. And when I'm 28, look, I'm getting freaked out. Everyone's having babies. If you're with me, say, hey, yeah, because it's scary. And I'm going to talk to you today about having babies, people who aren't having them, people who are, and how it's changing over the course of these decades. And do I want kids? I mean, you might not care about whether I want kids, but I guess we're talking about societally, whether people are still having children. And is there any point in having children nowadays? Like, I've got some real opinions on this. I've seen life, I've seen death. If you don't know, I'm a doctor. I've seen life, I've seen death, I've seen it all. I've probably been more accustomed to life and death than almost all of you, unless you are also a doctor or a nurse or work in the hospital or something, or a funeral director maybe. We in this country are very sanitized from life and death. Literally, babies are born in hospitals most of the time, not at home like they used to be, and they're delivered by healthcare professionals. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, just saying it's the truth. Now, most people, I think 80% of people or something, they die in hospital or a hospital-like setting. So it's no wonder we don't see people die and we don't see people being born. So I've seen it all, and I have seen one baby being born, and I guess I could talk about that because that was quite fun. And yeah, I've got a lot to fucking talk about, so I'm real excited, and I don't want to freak anybody out. And like, trust me, let's get this episode started off by saying this gal ain't nowhere near having babies, all right? It's a topic that's very much changed in my mind over the past few years. I don't know, if you're 28 like me, if you're maybe even 30, if you're even a bit younger, I feel like this episode's still for you. You know, even if you're not female, you're not of childbearing property, then, is that the right phrase? I don't know. Then this episode is still for you, because I think we're going to have some fun and be kind of insightful. So let's get into it. The other day, I held a baby, a 2-month-old baby. I wanted to hold him. I was going to call him it then, and then I was like, no. Although, to be fair, we don't know his gender, do we? But he's a he, biologically. And he is massive. He's like bloody this big. I couldn't believe it. 2-month-old, like what the fuck? And I didn't think 2-month-old babies were that big. But I guess I see the sick 2-month-old babies, the ones that are malnourished, the ones that aren't feeding well, the ones that are premature. So, you know, to me, a baby is a lot smaller. But maybe that's what they're looking like nowadays, you know? I don't know. But he didn't look like overweight. He just looked like a baby, but really big. That makes me sound like such an idiot. But he was. I was like, 2 months old? Fuck me, he looks like 6 months. But he didn't have any of the properties that a 6-month-old baby have, like the ability to hold your head up. He didn't make eye contact. So he was still a 2-month-old baby at heart, you know? But physically, he was like a giant fucking baby. So I held this baby. Now, I'd like to point out that none of my close friends, and I talked about this in my last episode, which is called something about approaching 30, and you can go listen to that maybe after this one if you want. If you're in the same boat as me and you're hurtling towards your 3rd decade on this earth. So yeah, I did talk about this, so I will, I guess, recover some of it. But none of my close friends are having babies. All the people that are having babies I see on Facebook. I wouldn't really say we're like friends. We are Facebook friends, but I think we know what that means. That means I'm nosy enough to want to look at your life but not want to be involved in it. So that's what a Facebook friend is nowadays. I might say hello to you on the street, but equally I might actually just pretend that I didn't see you. So that's the situation we're in with Facebook at the moment. And I do kind would kind of like to know when people have had babies, because I don't want to turn up to an event, or, you know, they invite me to something, not that they would, but they might invite me to something, or somebody might invite me to something, and then suddenly there's a fucking baby there, and I'm like, what? I didn't mentally prepare for this. Number one, I might not have come if I knew it was a baby event. Number two, I wanted to be prepared, you know? I wanted to mentally know. It fucks me up to think that people that I've known as children now have children. It mentally fucks with me. So I need to mentally prepare. So if I don't know you've had a baby, that's troubling for me. Okay, so the other day, not the other day, I would say the other day, it was literally like a year ago, maybe even two. The other day, I found out that my friend from school, if you're listening, hello, you probably know who you are, because there's not that many of you. My friend from school was pregnant, and I was like, WTF, because I don't go on Instagram. Like, I have an Instagram, I have a Facebook, I have a Facebook. I don't know if that's the phrase. I have a Facebook profile. I'm on Facebook. I think that's the phrase. I'm on Facebook. I'm Facebooking. I do have an Instagram account. I do have a TikTok account. Do I follow people on them? No, I don't. Not because I'm like, I'm so fucking mighty and important, but because I'm like, I don't want to waste my life watching someone else's life through the internet. I do watch vlogs, don't get me wrong, and I don't want people to think that that is necessarily a bad thing, to like watch people's lives through the internet. But I think you take a snap picture, does that, you know, I could fucking you should see this place right now. It looks nice and tidy behind me, right? But realistically, it's a real shit show behind you, okay? There's bags everywhere. I've got my laptop, I've got a table, I've got cables galore. I've obviously got my camera, tripod. I can't get off this sofa unless I climb over it. So, do you know what I mean? I've reimagined the room so I can make you believe whatever you want. Not that I'm trying to do that, but you want to clean the shot up a bit, you know? So, and also I wanted to face the window because it's nice lighting. So I don't feel the need. I want an update. I'd love an update just to know, you know, oh, cool, you went to Moldova. Nice. What was that like? Thank you. Don't know why I'm saying thanks. I guess thanks for updating me on your Facebook. But I also think there's more important things or more pertinent things I have to do in life rather than going through Facebook and finding out what other people are doing. So also, I'd like to point out that Facebook is literally the only reason Jeremy Kyle kept going for as long as it did. Like, that website was key to his success. And then I can't believe he shut it down. The other day I was thinking about Jeremy Kyle and I was like, wow, what a show. I think maybe somebody killed themselves, so they said it was because of Jeremy Kyle. But I mean, Cam, not himself, but because of the show. But I don't know if we can draw that conclusion from one person. It might have been more. I am potentially ignorant to the fact because I didn't stay at home and watch Jeremy Kyle. Maybe that's a good thing. So, wow, what a tangent. I can't even remember how I got here. I need like some kind of board or someone to sit here or something to tell me, some kind of AI software, if they created that. I have a piece of paper, but it doesn't seem to work because I end up going off on this tangent and then I really don't know how I got from I held a baby to Jeremy Kyle. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, something about Instagram. So I held a baby and what I'm seeing at the moment is every fucking baby, everyone's baby is on Facebook. And I just open it up, you know, randomly. I don't know why. Sometimes I have to check my my information of my messages and stuff. And I don't use the app on my phone. I know, rebellious. So I do open up Facebook on occasion, maybe once a month. It's not that regular. I'm not obsessed with it. Let's put it that way. I mean, there's definitely better things to be obsessed with than Facebook. Sorry, Mark. You've made enough money, my friend. Fuck off and go and live your life, okay? So, I'm talking about Mark Zuckerberg, by the way, not you. So, yeah, I open it on a very rare occasion, and someone whose wedding I went to, they'd had a baby. Unsurprisingly, that's the next step, isn't it? But I feel like all the people that I went to school with who don't have a career, they had babies a long time ago. Like, they have jumped the gun. Trust me. Or at least I think they have. And I think I'm going to be a real fucking sassy bitch today. I'm sorry. I've had my coffee. I've had pancakes for breakfast. Pancakes might make me sassy. I don't know what it is. I also drank last night, and I haven't drunk in a really long time. I don't know if I can say a really long time. That just came out of my mouth, and I don't know how long it's been. Maybe a few weeks. That's a long time to me. So I haven't drunk in a few weeks, and I've been on this like medication, which, yeah, whatever. And you're not really supposed to drink on it excessively, but I had a few drinks last night, watched TV, was up till 3 a.m. Fucking sick, mate. Like, that's what I spend my alone time doing now. So yeah, I was up till 3 a.m. watching $1 Million Motorhomes. Don't watch Jeremy Kyle, but I do watch $1 Million Motorhomes, apparently. And I was also watching Alaska Homestead Rescue. I was loving that. So yeah, that was a good time. I also watched the Levensky poisoning show. So I watched a lot last night. Anyway, I feel better today having drunk than I have done any other day. That's where I was getting to. So I'm in a good mood today. I don't think it's related to the alcohol. I think that's probably a coincidence. But surprising, because I thought I'd feel even more like shit. So there we go. So yeah, I do think that people who had kids a long time ago, I think some, it is a good thing. You're getting it out the way, I guess. That sounds bad. But like, do you want to be 40 and have a 3-year-old child? No, I don't want to. So this is why I'm getting freaked out, because I'm like 28. I realistically want to have kids in my early 30s. And now I'm like, oh, it's getting here, I'm getting close to it, and I don't feel ready whatsoever. And potentially I've got 4 years, and then I'm tied down. I see having babies. Okay, wait there. No, don't jump the gun. Right. Jumping the gun again. So I'm going to go back in time. When I was younger, I think my attitude towards el bebe has changed over the time, because when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I saw people who were also teenagers, maybe in their early 20s, having babies because they had nothing else to do. And I was like, fuck. Like, and it sounds bad, okay? I was a little shitbag as a teenager, but I was jealous because I wanted attention. And people who were having babies got more attention than me. Oh, I just admitted that was a fucking bombshell. But it's true, like, everyone wants attention, especially as a teenager. So for me, it seemed like people were having babies so that they could be pregnant to get attention, and so that they could be, because children are the center of attention, right? So that was, and it was also like, oh cool, you've got no career, so you're gonna have babies. I'm not saying that for everybody. I'm just saying that for the people that I witnessed. And I just saw them making these bad decisions and being like, why? Like, you're now not going to have a career. And yes, maybe that some of that was jealousy from being like, not receiving as much attention as a child as I would have liked to have done. But maybe it's also, that's definitely shaped my views on having children, because I always frowned upon, obviously I was a very judgmental 14-year-old, I always frowned upon people who were having babies then, because I was like, not at 14, but like when I was around that age, or like middle to late teens, I was kind of like, I don't know, just like frowning upon them, because I was thinking, well, that's it now, that's it for you. And also I've got a bit of a utilitarian mindset, in that I'm thinking, what have you done for, this is real bitch, but what have you done for society? Now you're just on benefits. Like, I've been on benefits. I don't diss anybody who's on benefits. I think they are there to help people, but realistically people use them to abuse them. They abuse them because they can, because the more babies you have, the more money you get. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I think we should be capping it, personally, just because our country's in a fucking shit show of a state. And it's like I get it, maybe somebody had a twin but maybe you should base it on pregnancies, successful pregnancies, rather than like, oh, you can only have 2 children before you're not allowed state welfare. But then I guess people are like, oh, well, the baby's being punished. And yeah, people who make bad decisions then are punishing their child who's already having a shit time anyway. So it's like, well, there's no winner here. No fucking winner. I don't know who's it will be the children who suffer that consequence, because people just won't stop having them. Especially people who, look, okay, whenever I talk, I am not talking about the majority of the population having children. I'm not talking about like 30-year-old Sarah who has a husband and goes to work and blah blah blah. I'm talking about 20-year-old, I don't know, the ages are random, or 30-year-old Karen, I don't know, who is on drugs and doesn't have a house, doesn't have a settled life, has 8 different children, 7 of which have been taken away from her. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. And I think it can seem, when I'm sitting here talking about how people are having babies and on benefits and whatever, I'm not talking about the generic situation. I'm talking about the kind of extremes. And that's because I see the extremes. And I guess that is what frustrates me. So maybe not the very extreme, but like, you know, the sort of one end of the spectrum rather than the middle to the higher end of the spectrum, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't want you to think I'm bitching about all people who are on benefits. I was on benefits once. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but yeah, I was on benefits to get through my A-levels. So I don't diss benefits. Like, they are useful, but I think people use them as an income rather than a helping hand. Like, that's the way I'm thinking about it. And that is because the system is set up so that if you do actually work, you are penalised and money is taken away from you. So it's like, well, why would I? Like, do you know what I mean? It's not a helping hand now, it's just taken away from me. And I'm actually earning less for doing more, so why would I? And having more babies is positive in terms of you get more money. And also, somebody said to me the other day, people like having a baby. People don't like having a toddler or a grown, a baby that can move, basically. And that is why they have another one, because that one's grown up. They want another baby. They want maybe more attention from the hospital, or maybe they do it as a form of self-harm, I don't know, or maybe they do it as a form of attention. Did I just say that? I think I did. Or maybe they do it as a way to get medical, you get free medical help and dental help and stuff like that. I don't know, but you see, or maybe they just do it because they're careless and they don't access, lack of education means they don't access contraception, and they don't, or maybe they're, I don't know. There's so many situations that can cause people to have multiple successions of children, and it's just sad. I see the sad ones where, they've had 8 and then they're in the process of getting another one taken away from them. And it's like, oh, please just stop. Like, come on. I also think, and this is going to lead into something a bit later, is that there's so many people in this world. We don't need more. Like, stop. We don't need more. Have 2 and that's it. It's fine. Maybe, I don't know, have 3. But do you need 8? 8? Do you? 2 is the good one to keep the population going. And we're already struggling with global warming. And I just see it from a logical perspective of, we don't need more babies in this world. So if everybody could just continue having 2, in our country anyway. I get it, in other countries you need to have more because the death rate's higher, and you might need more kids to bring in more money, etc. Or you might need a boy, or like a man, to take over the household, etc. So it's not as easy as like everybody in the world just have 2. But that in this country it would be, we've got an aging population. So I think I worry a bit too much about the world and the state of the world and the state of our country. I worry probably too much about it. I worry about overpopulation. I worry about global warming, and I just think if all of these, if we were to stop everybody having fucking babies. Not everybody, but, and I see all the kids in care. I see all the kids getting abused. I see, you know, another child that's had to go into foster care, and then they have problems, mental health problems, because they feel, you know, they've been abused. And do you know what I mean? I see the worst of it, and I'm just like, can we stop, please? So I have a very tainted view of having babies. That's essentially the conclusion of that, is from a young age, yes, it started off maybe a bit selfishly, but then I realised that it was like, okay, you're just having more babies because you're bored of that one's grown up, you want another one, and then you want more money. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that, because I know people don't verbalise it, but like, it's obvious, isn't it? So yeah, contentious but true. So I've got a very difficult relationship with child stuff. I guess that comes on to the question of, I just look at kids, right, and I just think, who am I to say? I get it. Who am I to say? And I always see people in their worst. So who am I to say? You know, I see kids that are, you know, coming in with self-harm, etc. And, you know, who am I to say that when they're outside living their life, they're fine? You know, they might be fine. There's a fucking bird squawking. Oh my God. I don't think the microphone's picking it up, so maybe we're okay. But I can hear it in my headphones, and it's like, mah, mah, mah. It's really annoying. And it's mainly annoying because I don't want, it's still going, the microphone to pick it up and you guys to be like, what's that noise? So, yeah, I guess, so the complicated question, do I want kids? When I was 14 to 25, it was a long time period, I was like, fuck no. I think I was always like, yeah, I probably will have kids, but I was like, fuck no, will I ever have them soon? I'm not going to be one of those people that's tied down. Like, I want to focus on my career. I want to travel. Maybe I was a bit selfish, I don't know. But isn't that a good time to be selfish? Like, when you have the ability to be selfish, and like, you know, that is your... I don't think it is selfish, actually. Fuck me. Like, I'm saying fuck me to myself. You know, fuck you, Dawn. Shut up. Because it's not selfish. Everybody does it. Like, lots of people do it. I think it's, you know, you need to be selfish. It's not a bad thing. I just need to stop painting it as a bad thing. So, yeah, probably till 25. And then I was like, I guess you start seeing other people have babies and you get a career. And I think, you know, I'm 28 now and I'm still like, I know that I want children in the future, most likely. But they still give me the ick. Like, strong ick vibes. And another thing that scares me about having kids is getting married and then getting a divorce, and I just don't want that. And I know that I can't predict it. I know that it might not be possible to like stop that. I know that situations change, but you know, I've seen a lot of people get divorced, and I've seen a lot of children get hurt by their parents splitting up, and I'm just like, kids changes everything. Like, do I want my relationships to go down the drain because I have a kid? And maybe I'm thinking very catastrophically, but I'm sorry, but fucking, what is it, 50% of people who get married get divorced? Like, it's not as though it's like 1% and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get divorced. Like, it's not an uncommon thing. So it's like, why? I don't know. I think I'm a bit of a commitment phobe, so I am a bit like, oh, I don't know if I even want to get married. Like, societally, I feel like I do, and there are benefits to getting married, but there are also, you know, it seems more difficulties. Like, then you have to split a house, and then I feel like society is very, you know, we're still in the Victorian times in terms of when we're coming out of it, but in terms of thinking about marriage and kids and stuff, and that's because our grandparents are still alive, and grandparents got married, right? When my grandparents got married when they were like 18 and had kids when they were like 20. Like, we would think about people now, and if they did that, be like, well, that's their career gone. But at that time, it didn't matter because the man they were the breadwinner. But now society is in a way such that the woman has to work unless the man is doing super, super well or earning super well. You can be doing super well and not earn so well, you know? So it's like, oh, cool, you expect me to continue being a mother to all these children, continue to look after them, but you still want me to go back to work. Cool. Yeah, that's going to be fun, isn't it? Like, how the fuck do you even do that? And then childcare costs a lot. And then, if you don't live with near your parents, which I feel like we'd have to, just to be able to afford childcare. So, yeah, it's just... Also, I don't see myself as a grown-up person, which I know sounds weird because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder, whatever you call it. I'm like, wait there. You are a bit old. You are almost 30, apparently. Still freaks me out. You have a few wrinkles. You're showing your age, girl. No grey hairs yet, though. You're of childbearing age. You're in a long-term relationship. Maybe it's the time. No, mentally I do not feel that way at all. And maybe I look back on this in 3 or 5 years' time and be like, lol, look at her, she's freaked out. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm freaked out about me, who feels like a child. I still feel like a child, not physically, but mentally. I see myself as a child. Oh my God, I'm like having a real internal freak out right now. I see myself as a child, and then I'm having a child. I can't even imagine a spawn of myself. I am so fucking baffled by that. I can't imagine a human... Think about, right, if you're also freaking out about children, this might freak you out. But I want someone to empathise with me, please. I feel like if people are mums and they're listening, they're like, God, she's so stupid. Like, she's so stupid. She, it's so beautiful having having a child. Yeah, but I've got a furry child and I'm quite happy with that. They are my babies. But they're not genetically mine, and I'm okay with that. I can't even fathom the idea that a baby comes out of me, and it freaks me out, all right? Grows inside of my abdomen like a parasite. This is honestly how I think about it, and I know it's not the case. I know I'm overthinking it. I've done a weird thought on this before, okay? By the way, if you are new to the podcast, I do weird thoughts when I remember to write them down, and I often forget recently. But it's a good section of my podcast where if I have my goggles, I put my goggles on, and it goes, weird thoughts. So, it goes a bit longer than that, but no one asked for me to sing. So that was one of my weird thoughts one day. Okay, so human baby parasite, fetus parasite, grows inside of you and then, literally like Alien versus Predator, bursts out of your abdomen. Oh my God, that was such a good impression. Or bursts out of your vagina, pulling the rest of your organs with you. So you have to squish them back inside or slice yourself open to get this creature out of you. And then it's immobile and you're responsible for something that is genetically half you. What? It's like I made a clone of myself. I can't even understand it. I would look at it and it would look like me. I don't understand. It honestly makes me feel a bit unwell. So obviously I'm talking about having your own physical babies. I tell you what though, is this weird? It is weird. I didn't need to ask. But is this weird to you? The fact that I would quite happily be a surrogate for a gay couple. And I've said this to gay couples before. I'm like, if you ever need a surrogate, I'm here. I'm ready. And people think I'm insane. And I'm like, I would rather bring happiness. It's like giving a gift to somebody. And Tom's like, Dawn, you could never do it because you'd never give it up. And I'm like, I think I would, because I myself don't want a child. But I would hold one physically inside of me. It freaks me out more. I don't know why. This is so weird. I don't know why, but it freaks me out more to have a genetic version of myself in me than it does to literally carry someone else's genetic material for 9 months. I don't understand it either. Trust me, I understand how insane I sound. I get it. But I don't know what to do about it. I think because I don't want a baby afterwards. So I'd quite happily hold it, and I'd be like, here you go. Although I think it would be that easy, but I don't know. I don't know if it would. I have been umming and ahhing. So yeah, I would hold someone else's baby. As long as it's not genetically mine. Like, I would, implant some eggs into me. That's fine. Please make sure they're like washed and, not going to infect me with anything. And then I'm cool. I'm fine with that. So yeah, if you want to hit me up. No, I'm joking. I would do it. I don't know. Would I do it for a rando? I think I would be worried that they wouldn't take the baby afterwards, and then I'd be stuck with this baby. And I'd be like, I didn't want it. It's yours. It's literally genetically yours. I don't think they would do that, and I think the risk is more that the birth mother keeps the baby. That's more of the concern. But I wouldn't. I don't think I would. I kind of want to be in this situation, so I know. Because I wonder if the hormones, I don't know, something about the hormones. Like, I'm very logically understanding here, aren't I? Yes, I am. But when the hormones get involved, and that maternal instinct, I don't know, it must be tough because your boobies are like, I need sucking. And then if you breastfed the child, like the colostrum, which I want to give that to the baby because I know how important it is medically. I would want, maybe I'd give them some breast milk as well, just because also you burn 500 calories a day. Like, take my booby milk. And also apparently it's quite painful if you don't. So yeah, I could send them like some sachets of boob milk. Anyway, this is a completely hypothetical situation. I would want some kind of contract drawn up. This is legally yours. I will not take it after. Send me to prison if I do. Like, that's fine. Or send them to prison if they don't take the baby off me, because that's unfair. Like, it's unfair both ways, isn't it? You don't want to get someone's hopes up. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of programs where people are... There was a Louis Theroux program on last night. Or maybe it was last night. I watched a lot of TV last night. I don't watch TV, like actual TV, very often. So when I do, Gal goes ham. I was also doing a crossword at the same time, so I wasn't just sitting and watching TV for that long. But yeah, so I was watching, it's called Altered States maybe, and it was about open adoption. And one family got their poor adopted baby taken away from them in terms of like the mum just ran off with it, and I was like, that's so horrible. Like, I wouldn't want to do that. So I don't know, I don't see anybody coming to me for surrogacy. I don't know if you have to join some register or something. I don't know. So yeah, I just think it would be so nice. I also did think one time about giving one of my kidneys away, but I don't think I'm that nice. And also I've seen a lot of people get kidney disease, and I think I need to. So I've changed my mind on that one. And I'm glad I did. Also, I understood at the time that it wasn't it wasn't an easy decision. Like, you don't just go, yeah, I give one of my kidneys away. So I thought about it for a bit, and then I guess because I was a medical student at the time, hadn't seen that many people with kidney problems. And then you see everybody on dialysis, and you're like, okay. Also, if you give a kidney away, you don't go to the top of the list if your other kidney fails. So I was like, what? I just think that's crazy. Like, surely, I don't know, then it would just be a kidney swapping disaster, wouldn't it? But surely you should get some first pick, right? You should be first on that list. Anyway, how do we go from babies to kidneys? So that's my complicated situation with children at the moment. I do want one. I know. I think I know that I want one, but I know that now is not the right time. That's all I'm going to say. I think also there's a strong human instinct to have a child. Like, we can't even deny that. Like, I think we underestimate the importance of passing on our genetics mentally, instinctively. Like, it's a big thing for humans. And I think that's why you love your child more than anything, because it is genetically yours. And you love yourself in a narcissistic way, yes, but also you're going to love a child that is yours. Like, and you can love an adopted child as well, because you can see it as yours, right? You brought it up. I'm not saying that adopted children are less of, they don't have, their adoptive parents aren't their parents. Like, I completely disagree with that. But if you've had that baby since it was born or a young age, you're going to bond with it. So even if you haven't passed on your genetic material, that's just bonding. That's just humans. We're fucking cray. This little noggin, cray, I'm telling you. I find, and this is why I became a doctor, because I find the human body crazy. Absolutely insane. When I think about it, I'm like, I am thinking and talking, formulating sentences. It's coming from my brain to my mouth instantly. I don't even have to think about it and the words come out. Well, I do, but sometimes I don't actually. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, oh my God, did that just come out of me? Yes, it did. Unlike a baby. So I find the human body crazy. And then to have an egg and a little spermy boy meet and become a little baby boy or a baby girl, like I do think that's cray. Like, and also talking about kidneys earlier, wow. I just honestly, when you really think, I think too much, as I always say, overthinking. I think too much, but sometimes it astounds me in a good way. So yeah, human instinct to have a child is insane. Like, it can't be denied. And some people want children. Oh my God, let's get on to this. Some people want children. Yeah. I want children, but not right now. I don't know if you ever feel ready. Like, people always say, you never feel ready to have a child. Or some people probably do, but like a lot of people say, yeah, I didn't feel ready. I think you just have to do it. But like, that freaks me out. I want to feel ready. I want to feel, oh, by the way, future child, if you're watching or listening to this, like, hi, I did want you, but I was a bit scared. Like, I am a bit scared to have you in the future. How weird is that? My future child could be watching this. Woo! Hello. It might be 20 years down the line from here, and now you can watch explicit videos of me talking about stuff. That is a wild concept. Can you even... Oh, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out right now. Like, what shall I call you? Hey Dakota, how are you? Who knows? But hi, I love you. Hope you know I love you, future baby. Oh, no, I'm freaking out right now. Wow. I don't know if I'm freaking out in a good way or a bad way. I think, I don't know. I'm not having a panic attack, so that's always a good sign. Okay. Yeah, okay. People always say it's very rewarding having a child. I don't know if it's, yeah, I guess it is rewarding in terms of, you're bringing up the future generation. You can teach a child moral right and wrong. You can teach a child, like, how to behave and how to be a good person in society and watch them grow. I love watching shit grow. Like, I think that's going to be my vibe. Watching things grow. I love watching plants grow. I love watching animals grow. I've watched my tadpoles grow into little froggies, and I love it. Like, vibes. Fucking love it. So I think when I do have children, I will love watching them grow. Like, I'll be that mum with the lines on the wall or on the door frame, and I'll have photo albums, and I'll probably have those first books. My baby Dakota's first. I'm not going to call my baby Dakota, but Dakota's first steps. Yeah, so that is, of course, as long as I can have kids. Who knows? I might not be able to fully successfully have a child to term birthing age. It might not be possible. So I do see having children as a bit of a death sentence. I know it sounds awful. A bit of a life death sentence, which is kind of weird because it freaks me out a bit. Like, the fact that you can have a baby when I'm 30 and when I'm 50, it's only just leaving. Like, that's a long time. And then I feel like I have to dedicate my life to that child. You can't move, you can't travel, you have to keep up an income, they're expensive, you have to feed it. And I feel like as soon as I have a child, everything's going to change. And I'm not going to be able to live the more frivolous, is that the right word? Frivolous makes me sound like a sex worker. The more fun, selfish, I guess, lifestyle where I can kind of do what I want, run about a bit haphazardly like a little child that I am, and go out drinking if I want. I don't have to plan or commit to things, and I don't want to give that up. So I am like, what am I going to do? I don't know. It'd be nice to have a nanny. Don't know if I can afford that though, but it would be nice. And then I could do the fun things with the kids, but the nanny could do like the washing up and, you know, making food and stuff. That would be vibes. That might be my ideal situation. Don't know. We'll see how much Tom earns when he's working and how much I earn when I work for a bit more time. So yeah, I do think though, having dogs from a young age, my own dogs from the age of like 20, 21, that's definitely like I've always had to think about them, and I know they're not my physical children, but they are, you know, my genetic children. I'm sorry, I've got a really itchy leg, but I'm telling you, there's nothing going on down there. Okay, it looks like I'm masturbating. I'm not. I'm scratching my inner thigh. Masturbating and podcasting. No, I don't think I'd be able to multitask like that. I'm a good multitasker, but I'm not that good. So yeah, when you have a dog, you can't really go places that you could before, so you have to check if it's dog friendly, etc., and you have to think about them. So I have always had that kind of mindset because I've had Lila and Bailey, but you can leave them at home. But the thing is with kids is you can take them pretty much anywhere, whereas you can't with a dog, sadly. I wish there were child-free places and only dogs allowed, or more adult only places, because that is what I'm feeling. It's getting close to the, I guess, hour mark. I just want to cover the like positive things of having kids, or the positive aspects, because it's not all doom and gloom. Yes, I might be freaking out, but I am still 28. Things will change probably when my friends have kids, and I think because none of my close friends have had kids, I think I would feel like the odd one out, I guess. And that's not me being like, I want to be the same as everybody else, but it is sort of like, you know, if your friends are doing a sport, for example, you might be more likely to do that sport. But if your friends haven't got kids, then you're not like, I'm dying for a kid, then you're not, you know, all of the people around you aren't really in that vibe. So you're not going to break the seal first. So I'll probably wait for a bit and then see what happens. I don't think any of my friends are in situations to be having babies either. So yeah. It might be, and maybe I'm jumping the gun a bit, 28, I want to have kids when I'm like 30 something, but it just feels close. It feels close to me. I think to say that my life would end when I have kids is probably a bit dramatic, but, because people do still travel, people do still do stuff, people go and do van life with a child, like, it is possible, but it just sounds a bit more difficult. So, also I moved when I was a kid, I didn't like it, but I still had to do it. I've got time, and people do still do it. People do still have babies, so it must be rewarding in some way or another. Like, people aren't just gonna sacrifice their whole lives to having something that's horrendous, and then people have more kids, so it's like, it can't be that bad. I don't know. And also you do get maternity leave, so you get paid to like look after a baby, which isn't too bad. I guess I wouldn't at the moment being a locum doctor, but I would wait until I'm in a situation where I could take maternity leave. Also, your own children are your own. So this, babies that I see, I don't love them. I'm like, you're a baby, you're cute, but I don't love you, I don't want you. Sounds awful, but it's true. But when it's your own, it's like other dogs. Like, I think you're cute and I like you, but I don't love you like I love Lila and Bailey. Like, I would be sad if, your dog got run over, but I might not cry because I'm not invested in it. I don't know your dog. I haven't like grown up with it from a puppy, so, but if Lila and Bailey got run over or whatever, of course I'd cry, like, I'd be sad. They're my own. I've seen them grow up from puppies, from 8 weeks old. I've had both of them. So, there's a different kind of investment when it's, especially if it's genetically yours, there's a different kind of investment when it's your own, There we go. I think that's it. Look, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I really would. Whether you have kids or not, whether you're freaking out or not, whether you're are you gonna have kids? Because some people aren't. And I've heard this. Some people are like, no, the planet's too overwhelmed with people. We shouldn't be introducing more kids. So I'm like, I do get that as a merit, but the birth rate has gone down and we do have an aging population. So I think logically we do need to still keep having kids. And someone said, Johnny in the Slow the Fuck Down podcast, which was on my channel, you can go listen to that. He said, I'm glad that I'm not going to be the last generation to be having children. And I was like, Johnny, people will still keep having babies. Like, I'm not scared of that. Like, people are popping them out left, right and centre. So that is not a fear of mine. I think the fear of mine is overpopulation. The fear of mine is, to be honest, we're going to have a disbalance of population. I'll let you take from that whatever you will. And also an aging population, and we're not going to have enough young people to support the aging population. So, yeah, that's my concern. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Am I freaking out unnecessarily? Probably. Oh, there we go. If you want to join me every Monday and Thursday, that is when I post, twice a week. The podcast happens. I discuss all things lifestyle stuff, I guess, but there's a little self-improvement-y positive spin on it. There's mental healthy discussions. This is just a doctor trying to survive as a 28-year-old woman. So yeah, that's what's going on. We have fun, or I do anyway. It's a good time. I just spat on my pop filter. And I'm quite honest. I will be honest with you. And yeah, I like to get you guys involved. So if you guys ever leave a comment, guess what? You get a shout out. If you leave a question, I'll answer it. If you send me a message and it's got a question in it or whatever, I'll discuss it in the next podcast. So yeah, what have we got coming up? I have a topic coming up that is about how this sounds a bit boring when I just say it like this, but how throughout the years, how technology has changed so that now I am currently bombarded with constant notifications and how I am managing that. So it's basically how to get through life 101 is what my podcast is about. Last time I talked about how to approach 30 and how to smash that basically. And if you want to go check out my YouTube channel, that is at Dawn Barlow. I also do not just podcasts, but I do have videos as well. And that's just about the mishaps of my life basically. So it's with a self-improvement in mental health, self-love, getting self-confidence, basically loving yourself and just being a fucking boss bitch, basically, or a boss male bitch too. I'm, like I said last week, surprised, very surprised, not like in a bad way, but amazed, happy in fact, that my audience is 50-50 male to female. I love that I am accessible to both. That's great. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. If you made it to the end, please give this video or whatever a like. Please give me a rating if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thanks so much to the people who did give me a rating. I honestly fucking love you. Like, I have seen the ratings, the reviews on my podcast, and I'm like, oh my god, people are actually doing it, they're actually listening to my pleas. Spread it to your friends, not like chlamydia though, but please do spread between your friends and family, people who might benefit from the podcast or might enjoy it. And yeah, if you've got any comments, please leave them down below. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything in particular. Let me know if you have any questions or whatever. I just love hearing from you guys and love involving the audience. I'll see you next week. I love you lots and bye bye.